All right, good morning, good day, good evening. This is the African Crypto Warlord. I hope you guys are doing well. We are having a look at Solana. We're going to start from the 21 day, the usual ritual, to summon the volatility gods, all the way down to the 1 minute. And if I can remember, I need to put it on Bitcoin, on Solana dominance, because there's a little target there that might add some hopium. All right. So we're just going to start here. We have a daily cone for this one. The one pretty much from the high at about $240, but we'll get to that stage when we get there. So currently there's no volatility reads on Solana. The last time on the 21 day on Solana, the only reads we would have gotten were from FTX, but they've closed down. So first off, what can we see? You can see the 21 day has mean reverted, has hit an outlier, but there isn't an outlier that we can see in this region, at least with regards to the 21 day, with the RO being down low and at halfway through. So what do we have to look for? We're going to look for continuation to the downside. Given we are able to call the top target, you'll see on the daily. Let's see if there's continuation to the downside. Okay. Now this is all mean reverting. We're waiting for the red flashes to end off, and then the dumperoo come for you. Okay. Into the 14 day. 14 day has mean reverted to the downside over here. We're getting DLP coming through as well. Little bit of maybe a bull div could form here on alpha laser returns, but this dump looks like it's sort of in the making here. We're waiting for the last little bit of flash to end, and then she gets a long continuation down. Then now we have a time frame where we can get volatility reads. So the best exchange to get higher term time frame volatility reads is on Gate.io. Sorry, got an itchy. And what can we see here? We can see that Solana is currently in a negative drift, technically, which means any time frame we look at down is going to be setting deeper lower lows and shallower higher lows, if I get that right. Anyway, every time it pumps, it's going to be sold into. That's what you got to look out for. Given we do have a hidden bull div here, problem is volatility dictates returns. Okay. Now we have some more negative drift coming through on the book on Solana. Not looking too healthy. Yes, RO has crossed. Blue flash at the bottom here hasn't switched off, as you can see. ALR is building some returns, but that's because someone just keeps on buying Solana up at these levels. So they're pretty bullish on it. Now, with this negative drift on pretty much the 7 day and the 5 day, it's going to be a very hard one for Solana to rip through, but we do have levels for that. Okay, now Solana is technically mean reverting on the RO here. Yes, the LP has crossed, but what can you see? You can see that there's a new trend forming here on the bottom right panel over here, and it's literally one little candlestick away. I'd say about $2 or $3 down, and then this dump is pushing through. We will get the downside targets, and we'll get the hopium levels as well. Now we're into the 24-hour cone. I'll come back to these. 24-hour cone is also a negative drift. So this is pretty much 3 time frames that we can measure saying negative drift. This is the 12-hour saying the same thing, negative drift, right? Even though that is mean reverting, as you can see, it doesn't really mean much unless volatility is backing these. Okay, blue flash is still on, so you don't really want to be buying. Over here we have some more negative drift coming through. So what's negative drift? Negative drift is volatility contracting and your correlation indicator saying that it's positively correlated. So Jack and Jill went down the hill and volatility decided to follow. Okay. Now, there's a mean reversion play here, so there might be a big candle out to $90, but we'll demarcate those regions a little bit later. Some negative drift there. Not too much really being healthy here. This thing is about, again, maybe at 50 cents to $1 out from confirming a big downtrend to the downside. How long until this closes? In 3 hours, we have a new print. In 7 minutes, we have a new 3-hour print. DLP, as you can see at this price at 91.75 is mean reverting. So the trend, you don't really want to be on the wrong side of these things. Let me just say that. If it's red, it's red. If it's green, it's green. it's red, it's red. Okay, here we have some more negative drift coming through the book on the 90-minute. Solana getting killed by small candles down. Alright, what can we see here? We can see now it's hit expansion mode. So just remember 91.74 being the point of expansion, at least on the intraday time frames, in order to get to play. So we'll just use the DLP here, and we'll use this RO. If this candle closes below $92, we can see that the bears are really gonna start hitting it. Yes, it can pull back up. As you can see, there's a lot of buying pressure with all these wicks, but I'm just going to demarcate it now until tomorrow this time, so 24 hours from now. If it's not closing above 92.24, I don't know what to say except for I hope your NFT prices go up in Solana. Now we are looking at the 15-minute. 15-minute is in expansion mode to the downside. Not so good. It's in trend. It has 5 minutes to end. So let's see what our 5-minute is saying. Oh, that was a bit too zoomed in. Sorry. 5-minute can actually catch a negative drift from here. Alright. If it starts failing this lower high here, what shitcoins like to do is, sure, they'll dump out, and vice versa, they'll pump. But majority, like here, these wicks will be traced into. So this is what you could look at that as a little bit of hopium. If it does fail this area here by at least 50 cents, I would look for continuation down to $90. Alright. It did try flick up on the new 5-minute candle, but it's stuck in dump mode. So we might be watching something very interesting here. This is the 1-minute chart. Let's see if anything's going to change here. It's caught in negative drift as well. So not so good for Solana Poo at the current moment. Yeah, it's maybe 3 cents away from being a full-blown big boy trend. Now we're going to go back to the 24-hour. Perfect, good one. Okay, we're going to start off over here. Now, if I press exit and I press on, we'll just focus on these levels here for now. This was the previous analysis. We were somewhere in this region when we made it. It was like $98 or something. We called this region here actually 127. Some exchanges got there. Gate.io, that's the code I'm using. It didn't. But good for reference. So if we were to zoom out on this cone, alright, let me press this, put those off. So this is a cone without skew. I'm going to do a super zoom out. What we can see is here in 10th of November, sorry, it's behind my head, 2021, this is the mean at $230. This whole skew that you see here, all this play pressure has been put in with a negative skew. And the fact that we failed the negative skew over here is not so healthy. So as the previous analysis I did, said if you start failing any one of these regions, you're looking for just the pink. Alright, so if we can hold above the pink over here, you do have an opportunity for $300 and just call it $80, $390, but this becomes the range. Okay, over here. So I'm going to delete those, as I will leave the link at the end so you can see that analysis. You are not allowed to be playing music. Alright, so the pink to the pink is the range. So if we start failing anywhere under the blues, we do immediately look for the next pink. Alright, this is a rule that I play on the 1 minute. This is how I scalp. So just put on a 24-hour. Now, if it does get bearish and it starts failing from $65, I know that's quite a while away. It looks about 30%, 25%. That would technically be a bear market. Last hopium buys here, it's $65. Now these yellow lines that you see here, 55, 31, 27, 18, and 15, these are all untouched VRE means. So in this case, it seems to be, even here's a monthly that I didn't pick out, at 32. So these these do play in on the longer term time frames, so like 6 months. If we've been pulling away from these things, you do technically want to touch them. Alright, and here would be a very probabilistic one, or out here if Solana wants to go sideways in this region to $54. So any one of these levels are technically levels that will be hit. So you've heard the $9 target here first, and we have quantified these levels before. Alright, now what we'll go look at is the other skew. So as we failed here at 98, we gotta go to this time frame here, make this big, and the only sort of hopium you can have, and I'll show you something interesting as well whilst we're here, is this level here at $82. Alright, we've been wicking off of one of these things. There it is. This is your break. If you start closing below $88, alright, you will want to push down to 72, and there's no line there. You will want to push down to $72. Okay, this is the reverse wave trend. So it can get caught up in this thing. What it's been trying to do is make a bullish sort of exit out of here, considering there's a lot of wicks. Fail below 88, you can put in a big drive of a hidden bull div on the higher term time frames at 81, or you can slide it through down to 72. Okay, but if you start exiting 72, we have those yellow lines, and those yellow lines will be coming quick if we do slip outside of 72. So if you found this information helpful, please do like and subscribe. I am 2 followers away from hitting 200 followers on YouTube. Some free alpha. Don't necessarily want you guys managing risk on what I say here, but I'm very confident that no one really else except for the other alpha traders are able to pull out data like this. Alright, so this is the last hopium, is this untouched thing over here. Alright, that yellow thing. I'll do it in a yellow circle so we can remember it. Okay, that's your last chance of hopium. If you can close above that region with Solana dominance, so you'd maybe want like people to be getting out of Ethereum and stuff like this, then sure, it can go up. But in the same verse, if it does slide all the way down to $9, good thing there's a level that remains untouched to the upside, because technically might not be tomorrow. Let's say we get down to $9, might not be tomorrow, could be 3 years from now, but it'll mean that Sol will be able to once again recapture 2.61% of the market. And if it's $100 gazillion by then, Sol's going to be way higher than just where we are here on the dollar chart. Okay, so that's sort of how you can look at dominance as a long-term play. Much love. African Crypto Warlord out. If you'd like to see some other videos, they will be posted in these regions. I have a good Quant Analysis, which I will top up tomorrow morning on. I'll put the Sol one here so you can see us pump into that 127 region as well. And yeah, ciao bella.